Welcome back to Patrick Christie's Tonight. Coming up, is diversity out of control in the NHS? And you'll never guess what salary a diversity officer is being offered at the moment. But first, should the Prime Minister take a leaf out of Donald Trump's book and ban men in women's sports? It's time for the head-to-head. So, President Trump's decision to ban trans athletes from women's sports has been hailed as a victory for women's rights and common sense. He confirmed the decision in a press conference yesterday.
Under the Trump administration, we will defend the proud tradition of female athletes, and we will not allow men to beat up, injure, and cheat our women and our girls. From now on, women's sports will be only for women.
In fact, he actually went one step further because he also announced that he'll deny visas to transgender athletes who want to compete at the next Olympics in LA in 2028. And barely 24 hours after Trump's announcement, and already the pressure is growing on Keir Starmer to do the same. British Olympian and women's rights campaigner Sharon Davies wrote on social media earlier to say, please, Keir Starmer, can you now do as you said you would and protect all female athletes here in the UK in sport and stop males from stealing their places, awards and increasing their risk of injury? So tonight I'm asking, should the Prime Minister take a leaf out of Donald Trump's book and ban men from women's sports? Let me know your thoughts. gbnews.com/your say. Well, going head-to-head on this now are the British athlete Mara Yamauchi and the CEO of See Change Happen, Joanne Lockwood. Thank you very much, both of you. Great to have you on the show. Mara, I'll start with you. Should we do the same as Donald Trump, in your view?
Yes, definitely. The government's position currently is that the decision on eligibility for the female category should rest with national sport governing bodies. This has been going on for several years. I'm afraid it's an absolute failure. There are many sports which still allow men into the female category. There are some sports, like my own athletics, which have banned men from the female category, but men are still competing in licensed events, breaking the rules. So it's not working. Keir Starmer and Secretary of State for Sport Lisa Nandy need to show some leadership and get men out of women's sport at all levels. This isn't just about elite level. It's all ages, all abilities, all levels. And of course, it applies to girls as well.
OK, Joanne, same question to you. You know, why don't we follow suit now and just get blokes out of women's sport?
I completely agree. Men shouldn't be in women's sport. We're not discussing men in women's sport here. We're discussing trans women, trans men in sport. And I think Trump's statement, what did he say? Cheat, harm and injure. That's not the motivation behind any trans person to cheat, harm or injure anybody. And clearly the research here shows that trans women who've been on blockers, who've had their testosterone suppressed for 1 to 3 years, lose any physical ability, such as muscle mass or aerobic capacity, to the point where after 3 years, there's no significant difference in ability.
Mara, do you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I'm afraid that's a complete lie. There is a mountain of evidence showing, there are about 20-odd papers now showing that males retain at least some of their male advantage, even after surgery, testosterone suppression, etc. Male advantage cannot be totally removed. You said at the beginning, this isn't about men in women's sport. It is about men in women's sport because trans women are men. They are males.
Joanne, do you want to come back to that?
No, I'll go back to the point. There is lots of research, and we can all trade scientists who's got the best scientists, who's got the best research. But there is a mountain of evidence also to show that after testosterone suppression, over many years, there is a significant degradation.
I mean, could we trade genitalia instead? Just to do. Well, I'll stay with you, John, for now, because I get what you're saying. But could we not just trade genitalia instead? If you do have a penis and testicles, then you are a man, and you shouldn't really be competing against women.
Well, come on, Patrick. You know that's kind of inflammatory language. To start bringing what's between someone's legs into this conversation is not wholly fair. There's testosterone blockers, suppression, that doesn't negate you having a penis. And, that's, I know we like to talk about penises a lot in this topic, but can we try and keep it above the waist?
Well, OK, Mara, I don't know. Am I out of line there? Because for me, it is pretty black and white, really.
Yeah, I mean, males and females as sex classes have a set of characteristics. You know, they have their male genitals, female genitals, they're all the secondary sex characteristics as well. We don't need to go into the detail of all of those now. But the facts are males have massive physical advantages compared to females. None of that can ever be fully removed. Even if it were the case that Joanne has said, which I'm afraid is untrue, but even if it were true that testosterone suppression entirely removed male advantage, men should still not be in women's sport because they are not women and they are not female. Female sports, women's sports are for people born female, and men can never be female.
Is there something uncomfortable here, Joanne, and the fact that this is, for all of the things he said in the past and for all the allegations levelled against Donald Trump, that actually this is him overtly standing up for women's rights, surrounded by a lot of women and girls who seem very happy that he was doing that? Do you think it's just a bit uncomfortable for people to accept that he's the man doing it?
I don't think we can cherry pick what Trump is doing and picking out one thing that it's saying, oh, look, he's doing a wonderful job. We know that there's a lot of rhetoric coming out of the US at the moment. And all we're doing is we're zooming in on things that resonate with us. I think we've got to be look really carefully at the overall message and trajectory of what's going on at the moment. It's a erasure of many people's rights. Trans people, again, seem to be the easy target. You know, there's 0.6% of the population are the easy target. There's no evidence that trans people have ever had a significant advantage in elite sport. And to accuse people of being
just not true.
Injuring people, it's just no. You know, given that the trans people have been allowed in the Olympics for some sort of 30 odd years, there's never been a trans person having any success at elite sport.
What about the boxer that won a gold at the last Olympics, Iman Khalif?
That's not a trans person. That's
just a bloke,
that person is a woman and assigned female at birth. That person, we're mixing things up here. We're accusing someone who has diverse sexual development and sex conditions.
Fair enough, Joanne. We'll let Mara come back and then we're out of time.
Joanne is right that Khalif is not trans, but Khalif is male. Trans-identifying males and males with DSDs, which is what Khalif has, are both male. They both have male advantage, and therefore they should not be in the female category under any circumstances. Joanne said,
information that this person has any kind of intersex capabilities. That there's no, all of the reports coming out, there's no evidence to support that claim. So I think it's inappropriate to make those statements when you have no evidence.
World Athletics have done years of research. They have mountains of evidence that there are certain disorders of male sexual development which confer male advantage. Those males should not be in the female category under any circumstances.
Okay, well, can I just say thank you, both of you. Again, it's another one I could have done a whole show out of this, but thank you both of you for putting both of your sides across there. It's British athlete Mara Yamauchi there, and the CEO of See Change Happen, Joanne Lockwood. Look, I've got a lot...